Hey, what's up, YouTube and Triple T members? Jeremy Barber here, owner of Trading the Trend chat room on Discord. The link is in the video description. There is a free 7-day trial. Come check us out risk free. So it was a pretty bad week. I'm going to show y'all everything. I know there are a lot of people out there on YouTube, Facebook groups, on stock twits. They're going to show you all their wins, but you'll never see a single one of their losses. That's it. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't benefit anybody, and it's part of trading. Losses happen, and you have to be able to handle them, or you're going to be out of the market. So I want you to see everything. There's nothing to hide. It doesn't benefit anybody to think that you're going to come into this market and win all the time, because that's not reality. Even the best traders out there probably struggled this week. I know there are people that made money, no doubt, but I guarantee you there's a lot of them, a lot of good traders that had a pretty rough week. And you have to be able to handle those weeks, days, months, whatever it is. You have to just fight through it. Keep learning, keep striving to get better. It doesn't do any good to curl up into a ball or quit. And it doesn't help whenever you have somebody that you're looking to for guidance showing you only wins. And that's not who I am. I'm not going to sugarcoat any of this. It was a bad week for me. I took some bad losses. I entered an order with an extra zero. Instead of buying 1,000 shares of something, I bought 10,000 shares, which took a $300 loss to a $3,000 loss. And that was my biggest loss of the week by far. Everything else was probably around $500-600. Very minimal. I was playing with small positions all week, and I made that one huge mistake, and it hurt pretty bad, and I was pretty pissed off about that. But it is what it is. I was mad for 5 minutes, and then I got over it. It took a little breather. There's nothing I could have done. Once it was done, it was done. Just regroup and move on. There was nothing to even examine. It was an error on my part. Hit one too many zeros. Yeah, I could have double checked my order. But other than that, why spend time focusing on it? There was enough out there that was making this market difficult to trade that I didn't need to worry about that. There was nothing to gain by spending time on it. So this market also, it's hard to make up ground if you start off the day down a couple thousand. There aren't as many opportunities as there was before. Over the past little while, if you started off down 3, 4, 5,000, I did it several times, and I'd end the day up 6, 7, 8,000. There were plenty of opportunities to make up ground, and there are not nearly as many now. So that makes it difficult to recover from anything that goes wrong. So another thing that you get is the chart patterns. They set up, and they may not break the way you think they're going to break, or they may break out just for a split second, thinking that you're about to get a decent move, and they just don't have any momentum. Most of these pops get sold. You hear buy the dips, and yeah, there's a market for that, where every time something sells off, you get a little sell off, you buy that, and it goes right back up. But what we're seeing now is the exact opposite of that. Anything that pops, it gets sold off. I looked at 3 or 4 tickers yesterday that had good news in after hours, and they jump up, and then they would drop back down below where they even were before the news. And that's just how the market works. When the market's bad, all good news is bad news. And, and the same is true whenever you have a good market, you can have bad news come out and you'll see a stock move up on bad news. It doesn't make sense, but that's the way the market works. A lot of it doesn't make sense. Know that that's what's going to happen and react off of it. You know, one of the tickers I was watching yesterday was MARA. They announced good news right at the bell, the closing bell, and it jumped up about $1.20 immediately, and then it had nothing behind it, and it ended up finishing lower than where it closed in after hours. And that's the news that previously it might have moved all after hours. We could have maybe seen a $5, $6, $8 per share move throughout after hour, but in this market you just don't get that. That's not what it is. So this week was bad. Bad for me personally. I finished down a little under 7% for the week. Nothing major. I kept, like I said, most of my losses were small. I got faked out a bunch. I, maybe jumped into a couple trades a little prematurely. I didn't wait for confirmation on trades, and it bit me. But you got to put that money out there and risk it to make money. I didn't do anything. I didn't break any of my rules to do it. I just didn't wait for, you can, they're like on a breakout. You can wait for the breakout and then the pullback for it to check support. Didn't have to do that, over the previous months, but now, that might be a good idea to start seeing if it can bounce off of that, which was resistance, now support, to confirm it. And that's something that you can adjust to make it safer. That's something that I'm going to start doing going forward, because I don't want to continue taking these losses, and I need to confirm that this breakout's a good breakout. But there's not too much I'm going to change going into next week. I'm going to spend this weekend looking back at charts that I traded, see what happened, see if, there was anything that I could have done differently, and then move forward. A loss in the market is a complete loss if you don't examine it and learn from it and get better. If you do those things, just look at that money you lost as tuition to, further your education. That's the way you have to look at it, because that's all it is. I paid some money to learn some things. And again, if you're not learning from them, then you're going to continue doing the same things over and over, and you're going to continue losing money. You're not going to get any different results doing the same thing. So there's really not much else to say. Said I finished under 7,000 or under 7% down. I finished down about $11,000 on the week. I will post my spreadsheet at the end of this video. Again, it was a tough week for a lot of people, and just move on, learn from it, move on, and try to do better next week. That's all I can do. Hopefully we get a market that cooperates a little bit better. I'll continue keeping it small. There's no reason to, move my position size back up. Right now I'm trading about 5% of my account on any single play. Don't really see increasing that anytime soon till we get, some real sustained momentum back in these small caps. Because if not, every pop will continue to get sold off, and the chart patterns aren't going to be as reliable. They're not going to get the moves that you're expecting, and that's another thing, pulling those profits quickly. Before, we were looking for 5 to 10% moves. Maybe you start pulling profits 3%. If you see 3%, start pulling half of it, take whatever you can get. And that saved me a little bit with AAL yesterday. You know, I took partial profit in pre-market at 1%. So that's, you know, something that there would really there wouldn't be a reason to do that previously, but now it's take what you can get, and if you made a little bit of profit, good. It's you need something to feel good about, you know, whenever you're in a week like this. There's a lot of red, so if you find a little bit of green, take it and appreciate it. Um, I will be putting out a watch list for next week. Still don't know what kind of market we're going to have, but there are quite a few stocks that were hit harder this week than others. So, you know, those are ones that I want to be watching and keep an eye on to see if they can start recovering next week. And if not, then continue to play it safe and continue to, you know, try to retain as much money as possible until the market is good. Um, Not stressing about this week. Bad week sucks, but it is what it is. I'm not not going to lose any sleep over it. It's part of trading. That's you know, and that's what I'm trying to stress to the chat room. That this is trading. You know, what we were doing before was throwing money at something and it went up and we were making money. That was great. It was fun, but you know, trading's a lot more difficult than that typically. So now is the time to get buckled in and get ready to start making some money. You know, it's a little bit different, but we have to adjust or we'll get left behind. We just have to continue being safe and live to trade another day. Just survive until, you know, we get a good market again. That's all I have for today. Thanks for joining. Good luck and stay green.